Okay, you have a test tomorrow, okay? And this is what it's going to be on. It's basically just solving for the x variable, okay? All these you're finding what x equals. Now, I pretty much told you the standard way how you want to solve this. You're going to, if your x doesn't have a line under it, you're going to put a number in front of 1, dot it, circle it. Unless it already has a number in front, then you dot that one and circle it. Make your wall, okay? And I'm looking at what I have to plus or minus and what I have to times or divide. Now, I'm going to cover that side up with a calculator. That's on the other side of the wall. Do you have anything outside the circle? Yes, a -2. If you see a negative or a minus in front of it, you are going to plus it, +2. And don't plus -2 either. You either +2 or -2. Okay, that'll get rid of that. Then I come over here and add 2 to the number on that side. So I go -7 plus 2. I got -5. So we have -5 equals 1 times x, because that crossed out. So that's done. Now I see multiplication in the equation. That means I have to divide. So I'm going to underline both sides, and I'm going to divide by 1. Why the heck not? Okay. -5 divided by 1 is -5. And there's x. Okay, my next problem, I'm solving for x. So this time we need to dot the x with the 7. Make your wall. We are looking for plus minus times division. Cover up the other side of the wall. Do you see anything outside your circle? You don't. You don't plus and minus on this problem at all. Now look here, you see multiplication, you need to divide. So the factor multiplied by x is 7. We can cross that out. And then -112 divided by 7 is -16. Boom. Okay, next problem. I'm not going to do a dot because x is underlined, okay? That's going to make it a heck of a lot more confusing if I put a dot when the x already has a division line under it. So circle the division line, make your wall, plus minus times divide. Okay, I circled. Do you see any number that is outside of the circle? You don't. Okay, so you will not be adding or subtracting. Now the equation has division, so you're going to multiply, which means all you have to do is that. So -33 times -30 is 90. Boom. Okay, next problem. Oh, I need x isn't being, there's not a division line like there was here, so I need to make sure x has a number in front of it with the dot. I put a 1 there if there's not a number. I set up the wall. Plus minus times divide. Now remember, we're looking at that side of the wall. I see an 8 outside there, okay? Now if it's got a plus in front of it, you minus, okay? So -8. Remember, if I said if it had a negative or a minus in front of it, you're going to plus it. But if I have a positive in front of it, you're going to minus it. Get rid of it. Now come over here, -8. Okay, -30 minus 8. It's not 22 because you're -38. Equals 1 dot x. That's done. Now I have times, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is divide by 1. -38 divided by 1 is -38. Okay, and those can cross out as long as the x is there. So x equals -38. And also another thing, when you divide, don't put the x under the line. It's just the number that's multiplied by the x. The x stays on top. Okay, next one, -5x equals 55. So again, you don't put a 1 there because there's already a 5 there. So you dot circle. And and we have plus minus and times divide. So you see anything outside the circle? I don't, okay? So I will not be plussing and minusing anything. Now I see a times, so I do the opposite, which is divide. By the number that multiplies the x, which is -5. Another thing, when you divide, do not switch the sign, okay? You keep the sign the same, -5, because to be able to cross out here in front of the x, the numbers have to be identical. So 55 divided by -5 is -11. Okay, next one, solving for the x. Okay, I don't put a 1 because we already have a dot. We already have a 3. Make your wall. Plus, minus, times, divide. What I'm essentially trying to do is get the x on one side of the wall by itself. Okay. Well, there's nothing outside the circle. Okay, nothing. So we don't add, we don't subtract. Now I go inside the circle. I see times, so I do the opposite. Inside the circle, don't ever plus or minus numbers inside of the circle. Okay, that's why the circle helps you. Then I divide by 3. Just 3 though. Okay, so again, having the identical number here times x means that the x is now by itself. So x equals -42 divided by 3, and that's -14. Okay, next one. Don't dot it because there's a line there. Okay, so you circle the line. Okay, that's all you do. There you go. You're looking to plus, minus, times, divide. Okay, so I don't see anything outside that circle. Okay, I don't. So I don't have to plus, minus. Now I have division, so I do the opposite, which is times. -4 times 8 is -32. Next one, okay, the x is not, doesn't have a line under it, so I put a number there and dot it, okay. Make the wall. Plus, minus, times, divide. Okay, outside the 1 times x, I got that -2.4. Now, remember what I told you, if it has a negative or a minus in front of it, you need to plus it. The reason why is because -2.4 plus 2.4 is 0. So get rid of that, and then you come here and do the same thing. Another thing, don't draw the line when you're adding and subtracting. Okay, the line is for division only. I'm not dividing on this step. So I got 1 times x. I take 1.8 plus 2.4. I got 4.2. Okay, now that step is done. Now I see multiplication. I do the opposite, which is to divide by 1. So 4.2 divided by 1 is 4.2. Yes, I realize when you divide a number by 1, it's just itself. But if you want to just be consistent, that's fine. Okay, next one. Solving for the x. Okay, we need a multiplier number. It's 3. Wall. Plus, minus, times, divide. I see something outside the circle. Okay, 7. It's a plus in front of it, so we're going to minus 7. Don't draw the line when you're adding and subtracting. You just put 7 minus 7, that is 0. And you minus 7. So that's done. Or 19 minus 7 is 12. So you got 3 times x equals 12. All right, now I have multiplication. I need to do the opposite, which is to divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, next one. Again, you got multiplication of 5. You don't need to put the 1. Don't put a 1 if there's a number already there. You already have your multiplying number. The 1's just something you put there if you don't have anything. Okay, wall plus minus times divide. Okay, outside the circle I see a plus 4. So if I see a positive or a plus, I minus. Because that would be 0, and then I minus 4 from the other side. You're balancing the equation. You're taking 4 pounds from one side of the wall, 4 pounds from the other. Okay, so 5 times x, 19 minus 4 is 15. Done. Now I got multiply. That means I got to divide by 5. Don't put the x. When you divide, you just put the numbers because you want to be able to cross out. So now the x is by itself. So x equals 15 divided by 5, and that's going to be 3. Boom. Okay, my next problem, you got this solution here. Okay, you're going to dot the x because the number's in front. Okay, plus minus times divide. There's a number outside, so you have to do the plus minus. Remember what I said, if it has a negative or a minus in front of it, you are adding 1, okay? Because that now works as negative. You see, watch, I'm taking negative 1 plus 1. 0. That's why I cross it out. I go add 1 to 13. That's 14. So we have negative 7 times x equals 14. Done. Now I see multiplication. I need to divide by the factor multiplied by x, which is negative 7. Don't you dare switch that to positive 7 when you're dividing. It's got to be by the identical factor, the identical number that's dotted with the x. So 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. Okay, next up, dot the x, make your wall, plus minus times divide. Okay, outside I'm seeing a negative, I'm seeing that 13. Now it's got a minus in front of it. If it's got a minus or a negative, you plus 13. Because I would call that negative 13 plus 13. 0. Okay, so that crosses out. Now I got to add 13 to 3. That's 16. So you got 2 dot x equals 16. That's done. Now I see times, I need to divide by the 2. Remember, only draw those lines if you are dividing. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, now I ain't going to make the dot, okay, because x doesn't being multiplied, it's being divided, okay? So I circle that. Plus minus times division. Okay, I see a 4 outside of there, okay? So I need to add or subtract that number. Now it's a plus in front of it, so I minus it. Don't draw the line when you're minusing and plussing. And minus 4 under the 6. That's 2. So we got x divided by 3 equals 2. And then I see division, so I'm going to multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, last one. And then we have a story problem. There's going to be one story problem on the test, like we did yesterday. Okay, I don't dot the x because when it has a line under it, that's totally different. I circle the line. Okay, plus minus times divide. Now, outside we have a minus 3. Again, if it has a negative or a minus, okay, you plus 3. Because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. And I add 3 to negative 6. That's not 9. You have negative 6 plus 3, which is negative 3. So you got negative 3 equals x divided by 4. Okay, now I see division in the equation, so I need to multiply. I need to do the opposite. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Okay, there we have it. All right, now the story problem. Renting a booth at the fairgrounds costs $85. It also costs $42 per day. How many days did a person rent the booth that they paid $337? You guys are going to want to make your boxes. And the two units are dollars and days. Okay, now the time unit is my X. The money's my Y. And now I go per. And then we put the X unit under per and the Y unit on top. So the dollars per day is 42. So 42X. So I make a line. So 42X, put a plus, then equals Y. Now before the $42 per day, you had $85. So we write the equation 85 plus 42X equals Y. Now I take the final value, $337. I put its label with it. That's dollars. Now look up here. Dollars, so that's Y. That replaces the Y. So I replace the Y with 337. So 85 plus 42X equals 337. Okay, now it's not a story problem anymore. Okay, dot your X, circle it, make your wall, plus minus times divide. So we got an 85 outside of there. If it doesn't have a sign, it's positive. So I need to minus 85. And then I go to the other side of the wall and minus 85 from what we have over there. So I take 337 minus 85, and that's 252. So we now have 42 times X equals 252. Then I see times I need to divide, okay, by 42. So there's the X still equals 252 divided by 42. I got 6, okay. So X equals 6. So 6 days.